took us more and more away from our own bodies and more away from the earth that our ancient ancestors, and some people still now, recognise is our life support system. So this is not to get all depressing about the climate emergency and all of that, but instead to remind you that you are part of nature, you are part of the divine, you are part of the earth.
Hi, I'm Eve Menezes Cunningham, and welcome to the Feel Better Everyday podcast. I am so excited to be sharing new, trauma-informed and ADHD-friendly ideas for you to help you take better care of yourself, that highest, wisest, truest, wildest, most joyful, brilliant and miraculous part of yourself, as well as the basic self-care, which we all know can be so challenging at times. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you want a deeper dive, you'll be getting bonus content each week if you sign up to the Soul to Soul Circle. You can do that for free or from as little as €8 a month. And you can also find more ideas in the book, 365 Ways to Feel Better, Self-Care Ideas for Embodied Wellbeing.
Welcome to episode 51 of the Feel Better Everyday podcast. And it was Earth Hour on Saturday, and it always feels like a shame to limit our connection with the earth to 1 hour or 1 day a year when we have that earth supportive, nourishing energy to draw on 24/7. We are so lucky. It's such a gorgeous, beautiful planet. And wherever you are right now, you can begin to connect with that support, that energy that we were disconnected from like hundreds of years ago as agriculture, as farming, as colonization took us more and more away from our own bodies and more away from the earth that our ancient ancestors, and some people still now, recognise is our life support system. So this is not to get all depressing about the climate emergency and all of that, but instead to remind you that you are part of nature, you are part of the divine, you are part of the earth, and you can anytime, anywhere, remind yourself that you are safe, you are held, you are protected. And I want to encourage you to do that right now, wherever you are. If it's safe to go into a mini meditation, so not if you're driving, but you can still listen if you're driving, it's not going to put you to sleep or anything, but pressing into whatever it is you're sitting or standing on. If you're walking, you might continue to walk or you might pause for a moment. Just press into the soles of the feet. Feel the air around you. Press into everything that is making contact with the earth through what you're sitting on. You can do this on an aeroplane, up in the sky. You can still ground yourself using intention, using your imagination. So just noticing how it feels to really connect with the boundary of whatever it is you're sitting or standing or lying on. And if it feels good, imagine that you've got roots going from the soles of your feet and any other part of the body that's touching the bed or what you're sitting on, going deep, deep, deep into the heart of the earth, letting you feel that earth's nourishing, supportive energy. As you breathe in, imagining breathing in that nourishing, supporting, earthing, grounding energy from the heart of the earth, up through your imaginary roots and up into your body, up through the feet, through the legs, up to the lower lungs and back out again. So you can imagine yourself just breathing this nourishing, supportive energy in and out, connecting with each breath. If you want to go a little bit further, you can imagine releasing energies that no longer serve you. And with each exhalation, letting them flow out, down through those imaginary roots, into the earth, knowing that energy is energy and it can all be recycled for the benefit of the planet. It doesn't help anyone for you to stay stuck. So maybe pausing this and staying with this for a few moments, if that feels good for you. And if it also feels good for you, grabbing your journal, grounding your experience by writing about it, making a few notes. It might be that you've got time to explore right now, or it might be that you want to write a few notes and revisit it later. So writing can be really grounding, especially writing by hand. Noticing where you are in any given moment can be really grounding. We are so busy, we're so delighted with our devices, and we can get quite disconnected from the present moment. So just taking a moment every now and then to pause, look around you. If you're walking, if you're listening to something, you don't have to do a full-on mindful walk, but just notice every few minutes or so, or every half hour, a degree that feels good for you, that's going to feel indulgent and enjoyable, not punitive, like put that phone down or whatever it might be. Other things that can be really grounding are to prepare food, like batch cooking, making soup. If you peel potatoes, peeling potatoes, putting laundry away, sweeping the floor, anything that's helping you work with that base chakra energy. So you can go back to evemc.substack.com or the blog at selfcarecoaching.net and look at the chakra journey from last year, 2024, if you're listening to this later, and go back over the base chakra episodes, and that has many ideas. But just notice how you feel when perhaps you've been away or you've been really busy, the washing has piled up, and the washing up has piled up. You haven't, like, kind of the simplest things like changing the bedding, sweeping the floors, or vacuuming, or cooking is such a nourishing, lovely thing, especially if you're using vegetables, if you're using things to genuinely nourish yourself. Really grounding. You're telling yourself you're worthy, you're honoring the fuel you're putting into yourself. And it's something that humans have to do. We have to eat for fuel. So we have to cook, we have to eat either way. So you can really use what you're eating, what you're cooking, how you're cleaning, how you're tidying, how you're getting stuff organized. Sorting through your finances can be really grounding. It can help you, even if you're not happy with your finances, just being honest with yourself and getting a clear sense of where you actually are, as well as deciding where you want to be and making a plan to move towards that. Even looking at where you are now, very grounding. So gardening, obviously, very grounding. There's all sorts of research about the biomes when we have our hands in the soil. Personally, I don't like that. I love being barefoot in the garden. I love being barefoot as often as possible wherever, but I don't like my hands getting dirty, which is embarrassing to admit, but some of you, especially with ADHD, other neurodivergents, might feel the same. I still get enormous benefits from grounding, even if I'm wearing gardening gloves. But there's something so delightful. For me, there's the added bonus of feeding the donkeys next door with the safe to feed them weeds and grass and what have you. But thinking for yourself, like if you like getting your hands dirty, whether you've got space indoors and outdoors for plants, just placing your hands on that earth, if that feels good for you, with all of these suggestions, all of these self-care ideas, all of these self-care rituals, do what feels good for you. You know yourself best. But walking barefoot, if that feels good for you, again, depending on where in the world you are, if it's long grass, you need to be careful. But on many surfaces, on the beach, in the water, it can be wonderful. So I'd love for you to pause this, or after you listen to this, take some time to make a list of some of the things that help you ground. There's also, like, kind of with trauma therapy, if you're feeling flooded anytime, if you remember coming back into your body, doing an EFT tapping can be very grounding, bringing you back into the body. Tensing and releasing the thighs, noticing what's around you. So some people look at like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, if there are any smells, if there are any, like, you don't have to make it complicated, just letting yourself come out of your head, out of your ruminating mind and into the present moment. Things like cold water swimming, or yoga, or being in the steam room, or anything that is going to help you connect in your body with your body, in a safe, friendly, you're part of this wonderful, wonderful world. How can you enjoy it more? Like for me, I always go on about swimming as well as yoga, but especially the swimming. As I'm moving through the water, I feel most like myself. Hugs with loved ones, sex, like kind of so many normal, everyday, easy ways to ground yourself, to connect with the earth, to send the earth some love. And you might also want to, as well as drawing on the earth's supportive energy, think about how you can potentially leave the earth better than you found it. Every day, if you see litter and it's possible for you to be picking it up, doing so. Maybe carry a bag with you on your walk. Maybe join others to, like in Westport, we've got a strong Tidy Towns community, and in many towns around Ireland. But wherever you are, there are going to be other people who want to give back to the earth by keeping things out of the streams and oceans. It's about doing it with an open heart. It's about noticing energy use, again, with an open heart. So not being critical of yourself and others you share a home with, but encouraging everyone to celebrate the earth, to nourish the earth as we nourish ourselves, and to remember to nourish ourselves more. If you want to subscribe, if you haven't already, to the Soul to Soul Circle, the bonus content this week for Half Moon members will be some embodied journal prompts to help you connect more with that earth's nourishing energy, and a couple of yoga poses that I'll talk you through. And for the full moon and super moon members, we'll be working with some grounding crystals. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope you have a gorgeous week. And I look forward to sharing more next week, when we'll be looking at ways in which we potentially fool ourselves for April Fools. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Feel Better Everyday podcast. I want to help as many people as possible with trauma histories and/or ADHD learn how to help yourself, to connect with yourself with that uppercase, that highest, wisest, truest, wildest, most joyful, brilliant, miraculous part of yourself, and to become more fully embodied, at peace and at ease in your own skin. So, to help me do this, if you can think of someone who might benefit, please share it. And if you haven't already and would like to, you can subscribe, comment, rate, review. And this episode, like all of them so far, has been produced by me, your host, Eve Menezes Cunningham. Thanks again for listening. And if you'd like more on this week's theme, you can subscribe as a free subscriber or paid member of the Soul to Soul Circle at evemc.substack.com. Find out more at selfcarecoaching.net. And each week, Half Moon members, that's the free subscribers, get some bonus content to support balance and harmony. So it's a bit of a deeper dive into the podcast theme. And then the following day, full moon and super moon members get additional deep dives into helping themselves shine by really supporting, really soothing, really working well with your nervous system, so that you feel safe enough to expand your comfort zone and do the things that you already know to do, perhaps, but just supporting you in taking those steps. Let me know if any of that is of interest, and I hope you have a gorgeous day.